Not too long ago, Jordan Poole was doing stuff like this.
Poole for the lead! Green to go with his 13 assists. He beats the buzzer from 3 and banked it in.
Flings it ahead, threads the needle.
Poole goes quickly. Up and in.
Shit, world champions, man, it's just an amazing thing to be a part of.
But now,
See if the Wizards can take care and take advantage.
So casual, Porzingis is
Jordan Poole to the baseline. Tried to scoop it up in a second.
Gafford trying to one-hand it. Highsmith mixing it up here.
how could a guy we proclaimed as the third Splash Brother turn into the laughingstock of the league? I decided I had to get to the bottom of this question, because everyone on YouTube and the NBA media seems to agree that it's not looking good for Jordan Poole. So I did a little research of my own, and here are my thoughts on why Jordan Poole is failing with the Wizards. When Washington traded for Poole this offseason, Wizards fans were hopeful they might be getting a discount on the next Steph Curry, but that wound up not being the case at all.
He's got 7 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds.
Since being traded, Poole has shot a miserable 29% from 3, the lowest mark of his career since his rookie season. And for those of you saying that's pulled from a small sample, you're right, but check this out. These are Jordan's three-point percentages every year of his career. Just for reference, league averages was just over 36%, and Jordan hasn't finished a single season over that mark once. And now, just for fun, let's take a look at how many times Curry has finished a season over that number. Oh yeah, every single year. And yes, it's definitely not fair to compare him to one of the best shooters of all time. But the point I'm trying to make is Jordan's shooting numbers just don't reflect that of an elite shooter. And I'm not talking about three-pointers here. I'm talking about shooting in general. Because as of today, Jordan has the worst field goal percentage of any starting shooting guard in the entire league. Jordan is proving that a good pool party is more about entertainment and the baddies than efficiency or anything else. And yet, somehow his assist numbers are even worse than his shooting percentages. So far this season, Poole is averaging 3.5 assists per game, which doesn't sound that bad until you see his usage ratings. By the way, this is something I'm not seeing a lot of NBA outlets talk about. As of this moment, Jordan has the 24th highest usage rating in the league. That means he's touching the ball more than lead guards like Jalen Brunson and Darius Garland. But when you put their stats side by side, you can clearly see that Jordan isn't dishing the ball nearly as efficiently as either one of those players. Check out this clip. First thing I notice here is the blatant telegraphing of this pass. Poole literally points to where he wants the pass to go, allowing Duncan Robinson to cheat off his man entirely. And now, let's watch Poole's pass attempt.
On that shot. 7 straight points for the Heat. The lob gets to Gafford, dislodged by Duncan Robinson.
Awful. Now, let's check out this clip. Pretty standard pick and roll action here, but Jordan misses the opportunity to hit Gallo as he cuts into the lane, instead opting to lob a pass to the other team. Now, to be fair, Poole isn't the Wizards' point guard. That would be Tyus Jones. But the problem is, Poole's usage rating is double that of Tyus. And if you're going to have the ball that much, you have to make the right reads. And Poole at the point guard position just isn't. Now let's talk about the Wizards' biggest problem. The Wizards' defense is tragic. Whether it be getting lost on screens, getting out-rebounded, or even just their general lack of hustle. This team clearly has no defensive identity. And now, to be fair, Poole's defense individually hasn't been totally horrendous. He's actually shown some good instincts for picking off passes. And when he's engaged, he can slide his feet with some of the league's best athletes. But the problem for Poole is that he's no longer benefiting from playing within a good NBA defense. The year Poole won a championship with the Warriors, Golden State had the 5th ranked defense in the entire league. So far this season, the Wizards' defense is rated 2nd worst, giving up an average of 120 points per game. But just saying it like that doesn't even do this Wizards defense justice. Because if that number were to hold through the rest of the season, the Wizards would finish the year with the worst defensive rating of all time.
Wow, he has a chance with Jordan Poole being out tonight.
First quarter. Another backdoor cut. Boy, the Magic
Porter scoops it up. Schroeder, there's Pertling.
Watching clips like these almost make me feel bad for Jordan. I can only imagine how intense of a culture shift it must be, going from playing alongside defensive stalwarts like Klay Thompson and Draymond Green to playing with
Kyle bouncing for Bam. Oh, yes.
these guys. And speaking of culture, Jordan Poole might be a horrible locker room presence. I don't know if casual NBA fans have been seeing some of the clips coming out of Washington this year, but I think it's safe to say the Wizards have a serious culture problem. And Jordan Poole seems to be at the heart of it. So far with Washington, Poole has come off as egotistical. easily flustered, and honestly, downright completely lost from time to time. But these were all things we knew about Poole before this season. So my big question is, why did Washington think things would be any different? This kid has had this reputation for a few years now. I mean, just listen to what Andre Iguodala had to say about him.
But I would tell him, Jordan, it looks like you're trying not to try. Do you know how much energy it takes to try to not to try? It takes less energy to try.
Why would a team with no culture stake their rebuild on a guy who seems more focused on the baddies in the first row than his own team's huddle? Okay, I'll admit it, that felt pretty harsh. But I think the real reason Jordan Poole gets basketball fans like me so fired up is because he actually has the potential to be a really special player. This kid is only 24 years old, and he's proven that he can hit big shots when it matters most. That same ego that keeps getting him into trouble also allows him to make plays that'll take your breath away. Plays where if you squint your eyes just right, he really actually does look like the next Steph Curry. Over the season, I'm watching to see if Poole can add or improve three aspects of his scoring. He needs a reliable mid-range jumper, maybe he can add a floater, and he needs the ability to draw fouls more consistently. Right now, Poole is shooting 27% from mid-range, which is awful, but that number should go up, especially if he learns to drive with the intention of getting to a spot and pulling up, like Devin Booker does. Poole certainly has the speed, handle, and stopping ability to do this. The floater is self-explanatory. Trae Young kills defenses with this move, and I think Jordan could do it too. And drawing more fouls is crucial if Jordan ever wants to utilize his 87% free throw percentage. As of today, Poole averages 3.8 attempts per game, compared to Curry's 6.6. But I have to stop comparing these two, because I don't really think he can be the next Curry. I see him being more of a scorer rather than an overall facilitator, like Jordan Clarkson or a Jamal Crawford type player.
Enough space to shoot that fadeaway.
Thinking three ball on the land. The prime time shot. Did it in Chicago. Did it in New York. Did it in
Poole, heat check. Yes, sir.
Ultimately, I think the blame for Poole's early season failings go both ways. Poole is failing Washington with his selfish shooting, poor passing, and bad attitude. But the Wizards set themselves up for failure by thinking Jordan Poole might solve those problems in the first place. Or maybe this was their plan all along.
James Mansfield turns